Alright, Bonehogs, this video is all about Quan, and today we're going over his top 10 cameos, at least in my opinion, from my experience. I've tried most cameos with Quan, and I think that all of them are good. I don't think there's a single cameo that I could say, that's a bad cameo. But you have to kind of rank them a little bit about how much they give to Quan, you know? Some of the most powerful cameos that people think in the game are just not a good fit with Quan. So let's go over what actually is something that makes a good cameo for Quan. The first thing is that they give the poor guy health. 900 health, so pretty much immediately any cameo that takes your health, they're gone. They're out of there. They're not even close to the top 10. You know, there are so many ones that are so close, and they would be if they just took no health at all. But the fact that they do, they can't be considered, unfortunately. Again, that not saying they're completely irrelevant, but not your top pick if you're picking Quan. Second, they give him some sort of combo damage or utility to get combo damage because he doesn't hit very hard. He's not very scary in the damage department, so anything that can kind of give him more damage is super duper good. And lastly, I would say anything that kind of covers gaps or gives him some safety, those types of things are all kind of what creates a really good cameo for Quan. So that being said, let's get to number 10.
Accept your death.
So the first one here is Sub-Zero, so right off the bat gives us 50 health. That's fantastic. There are going to be characters on this list that don't give us health, but they make up for it in other ways. So Sub-Zero, first of all, the freeze leads into a free portal. Even if you don't want to use it for pressure, extra pressure, you can use it to keep a combo unbreakable, because don't forget that's also stealing just a little bit amount of your meter as it's also around you. So that's super duper good. We got like a little kind of get off me move. Like the range on that is crazy. Someone's trying to close the distance. Nope. No, you aren't. Someone's trying to counter zone you. Nope, you're not. This is actually really good against Liu Kang because Liu Kang has some decent counter zoning against Quan Chi. So yeah, and then lastly, that new parry. Defensive options for Quan are huge because he is so slow. So give him a parry. Something like this. You want to be kind of cheesy about it. So yeah, so it's just some really good overall tools that really complement Quan Chi. This is Sub-Zero in our first slot, number 10. So this next one here is Darius. Might surprise some of you because this isn't a super popular cameo, but my good friend Blue Raz Rush kind of showed me the light with what this cameo is actually capable of. So first off, kind of expensive, but he has a really good ambush move. Like that right there, even though it does 257 damage, that took a bar of meter from our opponent. Like it just straight up steals a bar. It's like, I don't really care, I'm just taking your bar. And meter is super important for Quan, so if Quan can keep his opponent off meter and him in the meter advantage, that's actually quite huge for him. That's not even the biggest part of Darius. What makes Darius so scary sometimes is the fact that he just has these mix-ups that can kind of come out of nowhere. And they're super good because you have something like that. There's double overhead, you know, you can do overhead low Darius, overhead Darius low. Like, there's so many different things you can do on top of the mix, and I think if more people knew kind of how this worked, more people would be using him. In the corner with this up, like that's actually crazy, you know? Kind of nuts. So yeah, I definitely play around with Darius. His inputs are really ugly, I will say that, and that's, I think, what keeps a lot of people from trying him, is he's just, like, you look at this, it's like, what the fuck is any of this? Like, how do you input these? But once you kind of understand, if you have a friend that plays Darius, such a good resource. I really had to be like, how does this work? Why does this sometimes work? Why does this not work? And it makes sense once you understand how they work. Darius, super high skill ceiling, again, gives us health on top of that. So that's pretty huge. Darius coming in at number 9. Coming in at number 8 is Sector, and the first, and I think maybe the only cameo on this list that doesn't give us any health. Actually, there might be one more. But one of the things that makes him so good is Ambush Projectile. Like, Ambush Projectile is just insane with Quan Chi's toolset. It's actually cool combos you can get from it. It is expensive and there is lots of cooldown, so you do have to kind of... That's one thing I don't like about Sector, but Quan Chi's combos, even though they're kind of short, the animations are long, so you have lots of time for him to come back. This flamethrower move is really good, controlling space. And one of my favorite things with Quan is the teleport. because people, again, trying to move in on Quan, you're going to catch them with the teleport. Boom. They're going to get hit, and the cooldown on that is actually really nice. So you can use it a lot. You don't have to worry too much. And even though it is a summon, it's super duper quick. So there's that as well. And then if you really want to, you know, you got the homing missile to close out rounds. Just so much utility. Even though he is missing the 50 health, I do think that that ambush projectile is absolutely huge for him. Leads into so many cool setups and things. I couldn't even show you them all right now. But yeah, coming in number 8, Sector. Number 7 is Farah, and for obvious reasons, gives us 50 health. We have... Now, I like to use one of the things I don't see any other Farah players use, because like it's so easy to just abuse the other things she does. But one thing that I do like to do, kind of put that out, call her on the screen, and now we're building meter extra fast. Really good for Quan because we do all sorts of extra damage and stuff with more meter. Keep our opponents away. It's really good. Cooldown is a bit meh, which is why, you know, you gotta use it sparingly. But outside of that, if you want to use him for other things, like you're zoning, all of a sudden, bam, there's a low. You're zoning, all of a sudden, bam, there's an overhead. You try to come in, there's an overhead. And then, if he needs to back off for whatever reason, there, boom, 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 backwards move and get off me. I'm back there. That's something I don't see too many people do with her. But it's good for Quan. It's really good. He wants to move backwards, so if she can help him get back there faster, you know, boom, get back there. Oh, I messed it up that time. They can't even touch me. They can approach even if they wanted to right there. Let them set up full screen exactly where I want to be. So there's little things like that that I don't see people using too much with Farah, that I think actually would be really good. A little movement boost. That's really good. And then it's always a threat of me just throwing her at you afterwards if I want to. Especially if I have that portal edge, you know? What are you going to do, punish me? Oh no, I'm so scared. So yeah, Farah coming in, number 7. Number 6, and perhaps I'm showing some bias here, my boy Shujinkydink. So first off, first character on this list to bring you to the top 1,000 health. We're playing with everybody else in the game. We got a full health pool. We're feeling good about it. You know, other people might have 1,100 health with them, but still, we're just happy to have 100 extra health. That's huge. Gives us a lot of extra combo potential. Like, actually huge combo potential. Almost 100 damage on that combo. Kind of sick, don't you think? And also, Shujinkydink just, like, some of the best utility in the game. Like, in any matchup, you know? Like, he has his own tier list of good matchups, which maybe I'll make one of those one day. But yeah, steals Johnny's Shadow Kick, steals the Nut Punch, steals the Rising Uppercut, steals the Throwing Shade, which I think is one of the most hilarious steals in the game. Shujinkydink just throwing sunglasses at somebody. Hilarious. That's a combo starter, by the way. So yeah, 100 health, all this combo utility. The only thing that hurts Shujinkydink is that he doesn't have an ambush attack. If he had an ambush attack, there'd probably be a top 1 Kameo. His only ambush is running out and being a meat shield for you, which even in and of itself is something, and that has saved my ass more times than you would know, for sure. So, that being said, Shujinkydink at number 6, moving into my top 5. Now, first one on my top 5 list here is Sonya, and at first, maybe you're thinking, why would you put her here? And it's because of this move right there. It's literally because of that move right there. Giving Quan Chi a mid plus unblock projectile this fast is actually insane. A lot of people try and flawless block this move right here. So having Sonya to kind of come behind, or I can like charge her in front and change the timing, so now you have to flawless block her projectile instead, which could come out at any time. The cooldown is disgusting. This is such a good cameo for Quan, like actually huge. You want to get away, someone's coming in on you, I'll just throw her out. They have to either walk up and risk like her letting that rip right in her face, or just kind of hold that and let you create your space. It's could be single-handedly the best cameo move for Quan Chi in this game. It is that good. And then she has other utilities on top of that, so she gives Quan a 1-bar combo, which is crazy because his tentacles, as we know, take 2 bars. 375 for 1 bar. Gives us some safety with a little plus on block overhead. Doesn't really take advantage of this move so much, even though some other characters might. If you could maybe bait an anti-air with it or something, and then you use her bicycle kicking them up to kind of set up a portal or something. I wouldn't really see this used too much, but just for how good this move is for his whole tool set, yeah, 100%. That's, and look at how plus this is on block, like full screen. 103. Plus 103. And even though it's a summon to start, once he starts charging, you can do whatever you want. So I just set up 2 portals in the time it took her to do that projectile. And now she's full back again. So that move is disgusting. I kind of want to play another season of Combat League with her now, to be honest. Just do some pretty crazy zoning. So Sonya, number 5 on our list. Number 4 on my list is Frost. And similar to Sonya, where she shines is just this right here. But she has a more complete tool set over Sonya, so there's more things. Even though this is going to be like the number 1 thing that you probably will use, because it gives us combos off of our Skydrop, and pretty decent combos. Like this isn't even optimal right here, and I'm probably going to break 400. Yeah, 404. So yeah, and even if they, you know, they block the Skydrop, it makes it safe, so there's literally no risk to doing this. Just boop. Oh no, I'm safe. Too bad. So we had the Frost Bomb behind us. If you don't want to do it, you can just use it to slowly collect the space. They have to find another way to get in on you. You know? Meanwhile, you're sitting there going, throwing stuff at them, putting that up. Oh, there's another one. Don't mind if I do. I'll set up another portal. You're stuck there for that whole time while they're trying to avoid the Frost Bomb. Cooldown is a little meh on it. There is this move as well that I think that's kind of gimmicky, to be honest. But it is still good. It still has its uses, can catch some movement. You just got to be careful with it, use it smart. One other thing I do like with her, though, is Ice Crash. It's +4 mid, and it has pretty decent range. And if you hold it, you get Frosty's Revenge, which isn't the greatest move. They're all highs, so if the opponent sees it coming, but if you can kind of jail them into it, pushes you right full screen, right where Quan wants to be, a little bit of chip damage while you're at it. When used properly, that move is super duper annoying. Hater hits me with it all the time, and I just, or at least gets me to block it. And I try and flawless block because I'm like, oh, I don't want to take the chip from this. But then I just end up getting hit by the moves because that's decent chip damage with all that pushback, right? So there's something that you could do there, similar to something I'm about to show you in the next one here. But yeah, they're blocking high to block the second overhead. And they've just jailed themselves into Frosty's Revenge. Once you block that first hit of it, you can't duck the rest of it. You're stuck blocking that whole string. So, womp womp. Too bad for you. Lastly, probably the most fun thing in my opinion. It's kind of evil. So sometimes when my opponent is coming like up close, they're closing that space. I'll throw one of these in, right? And then they immediately backtrack. They back up. They're like, I want out of here. Don't want to do it. Well, hey, what if I do this? Where are you going? You're not going anywhere, buddy. You're stuck there. Creating wall scenarios with the portal anywhere on screen is actually disgusting. Even if you want to take your turn back, you can do something like this. I did that all in one input. We did 214 down wall, and then the portal input. Took my turn back, created a wall scenario. I'm armored. You're forced to deal with my crap. Hopefully you know how to block it. GG, shake my hand. So, even though Frost is like, you know, kind of just teetering on that one ability, there is utility for all of the stuff that she does, and that's why I kind of put her more above Sonya. And again, another character that doesn't give us any health, but her tools are just that good. Alright, we're in the top 3 now. So Serena, top 3 cameo for sure. We have a little pea shooter that she does, similar to Sonya, comes back super fast, but hers is a high, as opposed to a mid, and you can't charge it, so you can't mix up the timing. Doesn't mean it's still not good. It's still very good. One of the main things that we use Serena for, combos off of standing 4. If you want to use your whole cameo bar, you can. 400 damage from a standing 4, which is actually really good because we can whiff punish a lot of things from that. And it's almost full screen. I think full screen, that won't combo. No. But it is pretty close. So pretty much anywhere on the map, she gives us meter whenever we want, which is a new buff. And on top of her giving us meter, she's standing in front of us. So she's kind of going to be a meat shield if something's incoming. And she starts to kind of bring her cooldown back pretty quickly after she disappears here. So that's kind of nice. It's almost instant. Takes away the opponent's meter. Quan Chi, very meter dependent. He wants to have the meter. He wants his opponent to not have the meter. And you can have double scenarios. You're stealing meter with this. And Serena on top of it, so you're like double stacking, you know? That's pretty cool. And then, of course, if you're in the corner here, let me show you. This is something I like to do a lot with her. You have one pressure, similar to Frost, they're standing up to block that. Just one long block string. Maybe we go for the low at the end there. So, super duper good pressure, good meter build, so much utility, combo damage, and then on top of it all, gives us 50 extra health. So, top 3 Kameo for Quan Chi, probably the easiest of the top 3 to kind of learn, because Serena is not a super duper complicated Kameo. She's also one of the cooler Kameos in the game, so I gotta give her that. But yeah, Serena, top 3. Number 3. What's number 2? Number 2 is Tremor. So starting off, we've got 1,000 health, similar to Shujinkydink. Very, very good. Very, very good. Lots of things. Crystalline, of course, gives us a projectile reflect, so counter zone me, go for it, I guess. We also get a slow but very useful crystalline armor. And because they buffed all the cooldowns to Tremor, a lot of this stuff is just a lot nicer than it used to be. And he can cancel it from all different things. Going into Aftershock, you want to make something safe. Just throw that out. I believe it's -7 on block. Oh, it's a 0 on block. Yeah, look at me go. So yeah, make pretty much anything safe. Not that Quan Chi's super unsafe. You can also use this to kind of try and mix up your gaps a little bit too. Throw that kind of out there. He also has this low, so we can mix that into our strings. Overhead low. That's going to get a little bit better as I kind of go on here. Moving into metallic, we get mix-ups in our zoning. That's actually so huge for us. A low or an overhead. You pair that with your already existing stuff. Can make for some absolutely disgusting zoning strings, which means absolutely disgusting meter build, absolutely disgusting just have fun blocking all my shit, you know? So if you do something like the transmute from Aftershock into metallic and then into a so there's an overhead low right there. So there's you had overhead low zoning. That's actually sick. So, and that's where kind of like this variation is kind of going to really is that transmute cancel. Transmute cancel into all these different things. Creates all sorts of different mix-ups. And let me show you one that's absolutely disgusting. Alright, so we're in crystalline. We're going to go on like this. There's lows, there's overheads going on there. That's actually insane. Can you imagine being stuck in this and you're just forced to block and that's coming at you? Like that's actually super duper intimidating, and that's not even the best part of all of this. He also, on top of all of that, gives you a combo from your Skydrop. And that's really decent damage too there, 367. And then from the transmute, he's already back at half, so you could do something else. This Kameo is just cracked with Quan. Does all the things, gives you everything you need. Pretty much everything you need, except for one particular thing that the top Kameo maybe gives him. And Quan Chi's best Kameo as of January 2025, Janet Cage. Without a doubt. Does literally everything that Quan does, outside of, surprisingly, giving him health. She doesn't do that. But she doesn't need to, because she's just that good at literally everything else. So, like, giving him a combo off of this, which usually he'd have to make 2 bars in order to do. You can extend it, get a little bit more damage by doing something like this. We're going to go off here. There you go, almost 300 damage, and they're full screen. That's what's great about that, is it pushes them full screen. Now, this did get nerfed a couple times. It used to be a lot better. I believe this is the only Kameo, question mark, maybe Scorpion, that can give him a combo off of his throw. Timing's a little weird, though. Yeah, so it gets combos off of his throw, which, you know, even though he doesn't have the best mix-ups, he does have things to make you think about it. So 177 throw into full screen, into setup, into I'm where I want to be, biatch. You get a restand. So block restand into whatever you want. Absolutely crazy. She creates a literal wall in front of you. And that's on top of the wall that you can create yourself. So double wall. Super duper good, and decent cooldown on all of these things, by the way. This Kameo is actually kind of cracked. Not gonna lie. She gives you 1-bar combos if you want them. Same kind of idea with the jump punches. And then she has some of the most broke stuff in the corner with what people call Gento, which is her kind of stance. And what makes that so crazy with Quan, there's a low in there. There's a low that can combo into whatever. Let's see if I can show you an example here. So it's very similar to Darius, except you get multiple ones. There's overhead low, low, into another low, overhead low, low, into another low. And then you can actually get some crazy combos and stuff going from this.
Smash to black.
So I dropped that one there, but 315, and that's off of a fun to blockable with an overhead low into overhead. People who are better at Janet than me can do much more impressive combos, but that's just an example of the craziness, and that's assuming you're probably armored as well going into that. So this character, when mastered with Quan Chi, is absolutely disgusting. Raises his game at everything that he wants to do. So yeah, Janet Cage, #1 Kameo. And that's it, the top 10 cameos for Quan Chi as of January 2025. For your own curiosity, I'll put my entire tier list of Quan Chi cameos. It's ranked from best to worst. And again, worst doesn't equal bad. It's just gives him the least amount. Every cameo gives you at least something. So these cameos just give you like the least amount of something. So that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like because it really helps me out, and subscribe if you haven't, because I make new videos almost every single day. Hashtag Bonehawks, all that stuff, and we'll see all you Bonehawks in the next video.
Accept your death.